So Riley and I are heading up through. We got Slim Jims to snack on. I got a couple of Red Bulls and we got a cup of coffee. What's your snack on it while you drive type thing? Riley, it's usually some sort of like $1 candy and something like that. Hi, so we made it out here. Looks like he pushed it outside of the garage for us. So the hydro end of it definitely is locked up. I gotta see if I can find... Oh wait, no, it's not locked up. So we gotta go and get it onto the trailer and go from there. And over here is the snowblower attachment. Looks in pretty decent shape. Doesn't seem to want to turn very good, so I'm betting that the chain inside of here is probably rusted solid. But that's cheap and easy to replace. I gotta put it onto the trailer a little bit further. Hi, so here we go. Let's see what we ended up picking up. So as most of you know, I usually avoid simplicities, and the reason for that is very simple. They're hard to get parts for up here in Maine. This one happens to be a Regent Hydro 16. Obviously it means it has a Hydro transmission. The 16 represents that it originally came with a 16 horsepower Briggs & Stratton. Now, if we flip up the hood, which apparently is broken. There we go. We do have some form of a Briggs & Stratton in underneath here. Except for the problem is, it's A, missing a coil, so we can't exactly attempt to fire it. And B, it makes very unhappy clunking noises. So we're gonna see what's going on inside of it maybe and go from there. If not, I've got the block from Maine Mud Mower that we might be able to retrofit into it to get it up and running until we can find something better. It is a 44-inch cut. And if you're looking for your code on one of these simplicities to look up the model number, it's over on this side here. And your code for your deck is on this side. Height adjustments and everything, hydro gears and brake. Ignition is missing, but we all know I don't care about that. And back here, this is interesting. The lever, in order to disengage, is actually up in underneath. and it's a little paddle piece that you pull forward and then press in. So if you look on their website, it says to reach in through here, but it actually is a reach in from underneath to be able to pull it. It does have wheel weights, and the reason why it came with those is because of this. The only reason I bothered to buy it. It's a 36-inch snowblower attachment. Now, what I ended up discovering was that it's 1691521 if you're looking for the code. And as it sits right now, it currently is not moving, but it's been coming looser and looser the more I play with it. And a lot of the old timers say that underneath here that there is a chain that apparently has a habit of rusting up if you don't actually pull this lid off and spray it down on a regular basis. So before we go anywhere with that, we're going to pull this off and see what kind of condition this chain is in. Alright, so let's see what it looks like under here. There we are. Well, that's not the rusted mess I was expecting to find, so that means we've got something else bound up somewhere. There are one or two rusted links there. Maybe if I spin this a bit. Hey, we'll get a little bit of PB Blaster on here and see if we can eat through it a bit. Maybe try spinning it from this side. So there we are. We managed to go and pinch our finger in underneath the auger a bit, but that came loose. It's holding up somewhere in here. Now I did read on the Simplicity website and the parts manual that there's a bearing inside of here, and there's another seated bearing on the inside of here. So I'll probably see if I can order those up and pull this shaft out and put it in. That, and if you look at the links, you can see that there was some definite rust on the inside of this. So I'll probably try and find out what size this chain is and replace that. Shouldn't be too hard. So there we go. We got the snowblower front end kicked over. The bearings on the front seem to be fine. We come around here. See it freed right up. So there we go. That works. Now let's see what we can do about this. Alright, so if you watch right here, this is the governor rod here. And I'm beginning to wonder if the engine exploded the governor, because this is the noise it makes. And it's interesting that it moves. Alright, so while I'm here, I just wanted to point out why it is these mufflers for these Simplicities cost insane amounts. It's because it comes out of here, goes down into the frame rail, comes across over the top of the steering, back into the muffler, to end up coming out through a hole in the front frame piece to have the pipe down here. When you go to pull this, you have to undo it. You have to kind of shimmy it around until it finally slides forward there, but until you hit that, you can't go any further. So then you got to kind of shake it a little bit more till the other side finally comes loose enough in order to pivot it, in order to finally do this loop-de-loop before you can get the exhaust out. Welcome to why it is Simplicities are not simple. Alright, so we're obviously at the just because point. And just because we can, we're going to tear the bottom off of this thing and see what it looks like inside, because I can hear the makings of a nice metal maraca. So, post up. What do you think? What blew up? Do you think it was the rod? Do you think the piston imploded? It obviously didn't drop the rod for the valve in. Do you think the timing went? Maybe the oil pump went? What do you think? Put a comment down below. Take a bet. See if you're right. Yeah, I'm gonna bet this thing got pretty well abused because the entire bottom seal to the engine is blown as well. Somebody wasn't very nice to it. Now there we are. There's some awesome sludge. Holy cow, that is so blank that you could, that is so black you could use it for ink. Alright, there we go. We got our light. And there we are. That is what used to be the bottom of the rod. Now, if you were trying to diagnose this without taking the engine apart, you can see the other end of the rod right there. If you were trying to diagnose it without taking it apart, you could see and hear the fact that when you rotated it, that there was no pressure coming out of the spark plug hole. So I could tell it was a rod because I stuffed my thumb in here and I turned over the engine and there was no pressure. So that told me the piston wasn't moving, which is why it is we tore down into it in order to find this. All kinds of pretty. Try that again. Hi. So sometimes there's just too much carnage to be able to pull off a miracle cure on some of these. But for the price that we paid in order to be able to get a working snowblower set up that we can retrofit onto another machine and be able to get up and running, the fact that the hydro in the back looks to be in good condition, the 44-inch mowing deck definitely looks to be in a good condition, and I can pick up a Briggs off of a machine that's had a rotted out deck for about $100 bill on a regular basis. So, there's no reason I can't manage to go and get a $100 engine and swap it into this. Maybe sell it next spring, maybe buy the bracket in order to mount the snowblower. We'll see. What do you guys think? Was it a good deal? Have a good day.